Hello, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ethan. For those of you who do know me, sorry if you can't really hear me that well over the AC blasting, but it's a really hot day. Anyways, as I'm sure you might have gathered from reviewing the title, I guess today I wanted to expand a little more on the topic I think I might have already covered in a previous video, but it's the topic of escapism. As I'm sure I might have addressed before, or hinted at before, at the very least, I have always been the type of person that would try to find some form of escape from, the harshness of reality, so to speak, via some form of entertainment. Whether it be video games, whether it be movies, whether it be music, TV shows, I would just always try to find some kind of outlet, some kind of medium to escape through, so as to, at least for some period of time, allow myself a break from existence. And I'm not necessarily knocking it. I'll say that it's, at least on the surface, allowed me to become a lot more, what's a good way to say it without tooting my own horn? Cultured? I don't know. Knowledgeable in trivial matters. I don't know. But I've probably seen just about any movie you can name, listened to just about all the music you can think of. I can't say the same for video games, but that's because, in all honesty, I guess I never really was as much of a gamer as I was anything else, Never really as interested in video games as I was anything else. But I will give it to certain video game franchises like Halo Combat Evolved, all the way up to Halo ODST, was probably one of the greatest runs of a video game series I've ever experienced in my life. Hands down, I don't think we'll ever see a caliber of video game like that ever again, in regard to story mode or multiplayer. I also really enjoyed the more recently the Amazing Spider-Man games. Those were good. Miles Morales, Amazing Spider-Man 2. Really good string of games as well. I like Dead by Daylight. I like Phasmophobia. But I don't know, I guess at the end of the day, I was always more into the older video games, like Gears of War, Halo, Conker's Bad Fur Day. Just stuff like that, I guess. It's a lot harder for me to enjoy video games than it is for me to enjoy anything else. But anything you can think of in regards to movies or music, I pretty much have heard, seen, whatever, what have you, ingested all of it. Pause. But I think to a certain extent, there needs to be a point where you don't try to escape so much, and maybe you just kind of allow yourself to experience the things that are happening to you and or around you. It's pretty imperative, especially during your developmental years, that you allow yourself to be in the moment, to live in the moment, to be present on a daily basis. If not all day, at least for a pretty decent portion of it, because that's what's going to allow you to, be a person, for lack of a better phrase. it's a lot more difficult to interact with others, to coexist with others, when you have not allowed yourself the opportunities to interact and coexist with others. And I feel as though in certain instances I may have robbed myself of that by subjecting myself to extended periods of isolation and disconnection, just kind of removing myself from the world around me for hours at a time, sometimes days, sometimes weeks at a time. And that's not to say that if you were to speak to me that I am, it's like talking to a wet board or something. But I do find in certain situations that I close myself off very easily, as opposed to being how I used to be before I became the type of person that would find solace in escapism. I used to be a lot more open. I used to be a lot more outgoing and talkative. And then eventually I just became the kind of person that would really rather sit in silence sometimes, the majority of the time. Unless I'm very, very comfortable with you, unless I'm very cool with you. But while sometimes that's not a bad thing, there are other times where it can be a little bit of a detriment, So it's best to find, again, like in my last video, it's best to find that balance, to find a happy medium between allowing yourself to escape in the moments when you really, really need to, but when it's not absolutely necessary, when you don't feel like you're about to die if you don't watch something or play something or listen to something, try to find a way to just address the feelings and the thoughts then and there. Try to find a way to be present in the moment. Try to find a way to maybe distract yourself with the presence of friends or family, a healthier outlet. Because escapism, while it can be helpful, can also be just a slight bit of a detriment. Again, in your more developmental years especially. Once you're an adult, once you're past 25 and your prefrontal cortex has already been fully developed and yada, 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 go nuts, Who cares? But before that point, I think it might be best to allow yourself to explore other options a little bit more before you resort to simply trying to escape through various forms of media. Especially in today's age where it's so easy to escape through other forms of media. Everything is at our fingertips, We have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have YouTube, we have Twitch. There's just like an endless sea of media. And maybe that's a little bit contradictory because of the fact that I'm on here, on YouTube, making this video for you to watch. But I don't think that's that bad either anyways. I never am on here posting hour-long videos. I try to keep everything rather digestible for that very reason. I don't want to spend too much time forcing a conversation between you and I through this camera, just as much as I don't want you to have to forfeit any time you could be spending doing something else watching me. It's a lot more helpful, I think, if you devote a small fraction of your time to this, especially if it is helping you, because there are a few of you who have been reaching out to me the past couple of days and letting me know how much it's been helping you, and I'm so grateful that I've been able to do that for you, because I would have never imagined it. I've had so many people who have helped me, so now to be in a position where I can help others, it's a blessing, and I'm thankful. And I hope to continue to be able to help you, if you're watching this, in the way that I've been helped and in the ways that I've helped myself. You know? I really do appreciate you if you're watching this. But yeah, you know, like, I don't want to take up so much of your time with just this video when the whole point of me making these videos in the first place is for myself and for the audience, you, the people watching, to improve upon ourselves. I want us all to be better, to do better. And that's why you'll never really see me on here putting a video out that's like 30, 40, 50 an hour long, you know, because I don't particularly see a point, unless it's like a short film, which might be coming in the future, because I do love filmmaking. But we'll talk more about that later. We don't gotta address that right now. Anyways, yeah. So just try to find a healthy balance, you know, between everything. And if you are gonna do that, then yeah, you know, at least try to restrict yourself, because I was in a very bad place where I would watch movies pretty much all day, every day. It was hard for me to remove myself from the screen. And you can ask anyone who knew me, you know, from the time I was like 14 to the time I was like 21. I was in the movie theater 24/7, especially once I started making money for myself. If I wasn't at work, if I wasn't at school, then I was in the theater, and I would be there until the sun went down, watching whatever movies were playing. Didn't matter if I knew what they were about. Didn't matter if they were good, if they were bad. I would just go to the theater and just watch. And you know, obviously that wasn't particularly productive in any real regard, except for that now I have a bunch of useless knowledge about cinema in my brain. But yeah, I can make a lot of mean pop culture references. I can tell you that much. Any pop culture reference you throw at me, I guarantee you I'll understand and I'll throw it right back. Pause again. Anyways, I think that's it for now, because again, I don't really intend to drag this out for too long. As always, if you're feeling any particular way, whether negative or positive, happy, anxious, angry, sad, lonely, feel free to reach out to me through any of the various social media links in the description below. I am always available 24/7, 365, because you are not alone. You're never alone. And again, I really do hope that all of you who have been reaching out, and maybe those of you who haven't, continue to do so, because I love hearing about how you guys are doing. I love hearing you guys just reach out to let me know that what I'm doing here isn't falling upon deaf ears, you know? And I hope that one day we can develop some form of community here where all of us can interact, and that this channel will grow stronger, and you know, we'll be able to help more people along the way, because that's all I'm really trying to do here. Is if I can make one person feel a little bit less lonely, then I would have succeeded. That means you. And if no one told you today, you look good. I'm proud of you. I love you. Take care of yourself, please. And keep going. You got this. But yeah, that should be just about it. So, until next time, peace.